Joffrey, Renly, Robb Stark are all thieves. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them.
Lord Colmer sat at the council chamber, one hand on his face and the other to his temple. He had been suffering the complaints of his septons and scepters for the past few days, after informing them of the purpose of this council. "I pray that our king will not send us to the seven hells," he thought as he sipped heavily from his cup. The council doors opened and both Lord Owen Greystark and Prince Owen Sevenstar walked to the council table. Lord Greystark gave Colmer a ghost of a smile and nodded. "Lord Colmer," he said in greeting. The prince greeted him the same, albeit much more cordially. Behind them, Enger Firehand practically marched into the room as if he was in a triumph. Always the sulking type, the lord quietly and gracefully slid into a council chair opposite the three lords. He didn't bother greeting any of them. "How fare things in the Greyhold? Better than with my lands, I hope?" "All is well, although rather nervous given what we are about to discuss. Violet has been keeping her mind off it by alternating ruling with me and doting on our boys. That woman is a force of nature," Lord Greystark said, his voice full of admiration. His eyes filled with a pleasant haze with the mention of the princess. It seems that he was just as love-struck with her as he had been on their wedding day. "How fares your lands, Colmer?" Lord Greystark asked. Colmer let out a sigh, staring at his fellow lord with shadows under his eyes. "I wish I could say things were as pleasant. I informed the Seps of my land as to the purpose of this meeting. They took it as well as you would expect." He let out a bitter chuckle. Prince Sevenstar chuckled. "They'll never understand the ways of the North, at least while they cling to their orthodox ways." Lord Greystark grunted in agreement. "Prissy bastards and narrow-minded, they wouldn't be able to tell a wildling from a Northman. They're much too worried about how much they can cover their Seps in gold." Prince Sevenstar raised an eyebrow. "Aren't Northmen and wildlings not both first men?" Lord Greystark grinned. "You got me there, uncle." Colmore looked behind the two men and scowled. "Speaking of wildlings, where in the seven bloody hells is our king? He should be here already. Or is he still in his chambers spending himself inside another woman?" Lord Greystark scowled. "That boy has a lot to learn. I'm happy Violet isn't here. She would have thrown a fit seeing the state of Enger's marriage bed. I love the boy, but I swear I'll fashion him a chastity belt and throw away the key if I ever catch him in the act." Colmore let out a chuckle before collecting himself. "In any case, perhaps one of us should go fetch him." An awkward silence settled over the three men. Lord Firehand broke the pause by sliding up from his seat. He eyed the three other lords before speaking. "My lords, we were called here to discuss one issue. I suggest we get on with it instead of wasting time with chatter. Wouldn't you agree?" Prince Sevenstar nodded at the younger lord. "Right you are, my Enger. We have business to attend to. We shall start as soon as his grace arrives." As if on cue, their absent and dishevelled king ambled into the room with Lord Danny Ironfur, Lord Theon Bolton, and an exasperated Sir Thermithor Shycross trailing behind him. "Seven hells, you could have waited," the king growled as he strode to his seat. Prince Sevenstar looked evenly at his nephew before shifting his gaze onto Sir Shycross. "I beg your pardon, sir, but you are not required to be present at this moment." Sir Vermithor gave the older man a cool and steely gaze. "My lord, I desire to serve. Besides, the Bronze Battalion refuse to be led by someone they are not familiar with. Since I am the nephew of their former employer, I am all they have. You will need them, I am sure." "Relax, uncle," the young king interjected. "I requested he sit in." Prince Sevenstar gave a curt nod and cleared his throat. "Then let us begin." The group began to study the vast mountains and cliffs of this treacherous location. Vermithor was the first to speak. "The Crannogmen and Bronze Battalion are preparing for the march, your grace. Do we have the mountain clans at our backs?" The king, who had been lazily reclining in his chair, looked over to Sir Shycross. "Aye, Lord Maiden has been able to negotiate their cooperation." Lord Greystark smirked. "Excellent. With their knowledge of the region, we don't need to rely on direct confrontations, which is good, since the Valemen will obviously try to use the natural choke points in the region to their advantage." "Agreed." The Valyrian gave a sly smile. "Would be a shame if, say their horses foundered. Holes in the ground can wreck hell on a cavalry charge." Colmore nodded in agreement. "We will need any advantage we can get. Lord Ironfur, will this war be a heavy burden on the royal treasury?" "Oh, quite a fair amount. However, our glorious monarch has found a perfect source of funding. That, and we have a few new patrons of this expedition, we should be fairly secure." At this, Lord Greystark groaned. Rubbing the bridge of his nose, he shot a look at the king. "Who is she?" he asked. His words were sharp like the edge of a knife. It was enough for the king to actually look sheepish for once. The young king gave a rare blush. Merely the world's kindest, smartest and most beautiful woman, her kinsmen were generous enough to help sponsor this campaign. His expression soured, the flush gone. If I hear anyone speak ill of her, then I will have them removed. We should be grateful they are giving us the chance to finally clip the wings of the Falcon Queen. Lord Greystark slammed a hand on the weirwood table. If there is anyone I must speak ill of, little brother, it is you. The king seemed to shrink into his seat as if he had been struck. Lord Greystark continued his tirade. You dishonour yourself, this girl and most of all your wife. Every time you do this, I have half... Enough! Prince Sevenstar interrupted. Now is not the time for this, nephew. While I too wish to speak about this, we have a war to plan. It can wait. The king grit his teeth yet collected himself. Indeed. You are correct, uncle. We must prepare. His eyes drifted back. How long will it take to make the mountain pass into a death pit for the Vale men? Prince Sevenstar looked back to the map of the Vale. That's dependent on how fast we can mobilise with the mountain clan's information. Just know that if all goes to plan, we will seldom need to directly confront the Arran forces. Very well. We shall begin the march as soon as word is received, my lord. You are dismissed. As the party dissembled, King Enger gripped Owen's arm. You spoke out of turn, Lord Greystark. Do not address me as little brother. I am your king. You will address me as such. Am I understood? Lord Greystark's face softened as he looked at the young king. I apologise, Enger. I didn't mean to speak so out of turn. I was caught in the heat of the moment. I love you and I don't want to let your sister down for not setting you on the right path. Owen grinned. Besides, imagine if Violet actually were here. We'd both be dead. The king shivered and laughed. I guess you have a point there, brother. The two then parted ways as the candles began to go out. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Citadel with me, Grand Maester Stitch, where we return to the Knights of Andalia as High King Enger II, the Uncaring, who is now 23. He's been ruling for a whopping 8 years already. That's gone by pretty quickly. I'm very surprised that he's managed to rule that long, considering that he's pretty hated by a lot of his subjects, but still we've not really had any civil wars or anything like that. We've had threats of them, but they've never really amounted to anything. Like, we do now have an independence faction from Lord Bolton, who is our bitter rival, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Speaking of Lord Bolton, he helped us massively in the last episode where we did restore the Night's Watch, which then bugged out and wouldn't allow us to restore it properly, but that has managed to be fixed thanks to help from Chris, so I really appreciate that. But yes, here we are as High King Enger. As I said, I've sorted out the 4 bastards that for some reason weren't acknowledged as his, so they're now acknowledged as his, so he now has 12 children, as you can see, by the age of 23. That's absolutely insane. Only one who is a legitimate child. Hopefully we will get some more legitimate children as we move forward. I hope we do. Anyway, there's one custom character to introduce, and that was, if you remember from the ending of the last episode, Lady Saudan, who was the Lyseni merchant's daughter. As you know, when we go on our trade zones, there is a huge Lyseni trade port here in Andalia and in and around Sevensport. Okay, so we were getting our army together for the invasion of the Vale, where we're trying to claim this northern land, where we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 provinces from that, 3 of which I believe don't actually have a cannon house ruling there, so we can land some of our custom houses, which will be good. So there's quite a few who still need landing. We're trying to get all our men down there. We've got men scattered all over the realm. We haven't really gathered a huge army, to be honest, only off a few people. Most of them haven't given us a huge amount of men, obviously, as we're not as liked as Ambrose and Enger I were, but we'll bring those men in anyway. The introduction was obviously from Colmore Bloom's point of view, as they do the council preparing for the invasion, as he's torn between the crown and the faith. Andalia is at a state of war. We should rejoice and we should send ravens to the great lords, rallying them to the crown's defence. They'll surely honour their obligations. That will hopefully call in the Starks, who will aid us. But yes, as you know, Enger sort of pulled a Henry VIII in the last episode when we taxed the Seps big time. Got loads. We not sacked them. We purged them. Got loads of gold from them to fund this war. Charity work is going well in Sevensport. Good, gains us a little bit of piety, which we probably do need after what we did in the last episode, but we'll keep an eye on it. And awesome, our brother-in-law Donald is honouring our obligation, and he is going to aid us in the invasion of the Vale. Perfect. Right, we've now got the ships that have arrived off the Corbury land, so we can embark all those men now on that fleet, and we'll drop them off in Scorched Vale with the rest of the men that have been dropped off there. We've got 64 fleets here that we need to sail back to Sevenstar to pick up the men there. Down south, so we cover that quickly, the Stormlands, as you see here, have just called in the Grand Lands into a war. The Stormlands, who are amassing a lot of power at the moment, they took that big chunk of the Riverlands. They are currently invading the Reach for the entire Reach, and I think they are going to win it, which is going to give them, it's going to more than double their kingdom, isn't it? And that's going to be quite worrying to have someone that powerful. But it will probably implode at some point, but they're definitely going to win, I think, as the Reach is currently dealing with a Tarly rebellion and a Gardner independence war, and they're also suffering from an Andal invasion down on this west coast from the Silver Eyes. Stuff's still kicking off in the Rock, as it always seems to be lately. The Riverlands is at peace, but I think the Riverlands is going to be soon carved up between the other great kingdoms, and the Vale, as we know, we are about to take hopefully a big chunk of. Now, as we were talking about Lord Corbury, he has finally, after many attempts, had a son, Danes Corbury, 1 year old, and he was born with the genius trait, which is awesome. So if we can get him a skilled fighter as a guardian, someone who's a formidable fighter, someone really good, hopefully we can get him to become an absolutely amazing character in the future. A genius formidable fighter wielding a Valyrian steel sword in Lady Fallen would be absolutely incredible. So we do need to do something about that at some point. Right, how many men have we got here now? 3,500. Just waiting for the Reed men to merge together here so that we can get them on the fleet as well. We're just waiting for the crossfort men. 55 men, hardly worth it. Oh, and nice, the Father's Field, led by obviously Lord Firehand, has given us 666 men. That seems like the perfect amount of men to come from Lord Firehand. King Clement of the Trident has declared Riverland or Westland de Jure war over Riverrun on King Tywin. That's a good move to try and reclaim their stolen lands whilst the Rock is currently at war. Let's march this army over to Sevenstar. That fleet we'll bring round here just in case we do need it. We're still waiting for this army to march down as well. And the bloody flux has broken out in Oldcastle. So yes, we will shut our gates just to be safe. Some commoners have already gathered outside as your guards start closing the gate. A decisive thump silences the curious chatter coming from the other side. Seal it. Perfect. We don't want anything spreading. We're only just getting over the great sickness, so we don't really want anything else hitting us so soon. Let's merge those fleets together. We're just waiting for the rest of the men to come south. We've got 3,000 here at the moment, which isn't enough for what we want to do. Let's sail these other fleets over and drop off a few more men before we march on to Nuke. Actually, let's march. I don't care about what's happening in Valyria. Let's march this army on to Nuke and start getting under siege. We'll have... Oh, we've not really got any commanders as well now because we've closed the gates. Have we got room for anyone? No, they're all behind gates. So who can we have leading this? We'll go with Theon Bolton and Garrett to Lord of Whitford. Be a shame if Theon were to die in battle, wouldn't it? Right, yeah, let's send those on to Newkeep, get that under siege, waiting for these other ships to arrive. Do you know what? We'll bring these 4,000 men over now quickly, and then we can send the fleet back to pick up the stragglers from the northern and westernmost reaches of the realm. And fate smiles upon you, my wife Sybil is pregnant. Oh, awesome, that's great news. So hopefully we're going to have another trueborn child. I find it amazing that we're yet to suffer any stillborns. All 12 of our children have survived. Normally, you suffer loads of stillborns, especially as the 7 stars we have. Every 7 stars seems to suffer at least 1 or 2. An emissary from the High Septon has come to our court to announce that we have... Oh, great. We've been excommunicated. That's probably for what we did to the Sept. Great, so we've lost 50 Piter. Excommunication. That's probably going to cause us some difficulties moving forward. That could definitely cause some trouble for Enger as we move forward, but hopefully we'll win this war, get some people on side. And I've received word that my lover Rosamund is with child. As you arrive at court, you see Kenneth fix you with a steely gaze. At first you think nothing of it, but you soon hear the talk of the court. Everyone knows that Rosamund is pregnant, and worse, everyone knows that you're the father. I suppose she had no choice. We want to get all these bastards known as our own. We don't want to try and finger them off onto anyone else. My lover, Denesa, has just informed me that she's pregnant with child. Well, that didn't take long, did it, to knock up our Lyseni bride? Awesome. And our lover, Winifred, is with child as well. Great. So there's another one on the way. She's married to Mance Snow. And Winifred claims she started to show signs of pregnancy after your last night of lovemaking. Is that the one we went away for the weekend away with in the last episode? But she plans to pass the child off as her husband. No! Mance Rosbury knows about my affair with Winifred. He knows the child she carries is actually mine. Awesome. Good. So that's 3 more bastards and a trueborn on the way. That's 4 more children. That's going to put us at 16 children. That's just fucking ridiculous, isn't it? That really is ridiculous. Let's march this army round Snakewood to Heart's Home. And leading this army we'll leave Garrett Josso in charge of that one, Theon Bolton in charge of the other force. Let's sail this huge Andalian fleet back to Sevensport to pick up the stragglers. Still got a few hundred coming from the Father's Fields and Whitford, and about 1,000 coming from, I think, the Bolton lands. Your Septon Mark of Snow reports that Master Donald of Goldenfield has been humbled by your endless generosity to the poor. Good. Puts our piety up. But that doesn't change the fact that we've been excommunicated, does it? How well defended is New Keep? Not that well defended, good, and it's only a level 6 fort, so that shouldn't be too hard to take, hopefully. What's this army here? Moon's Grey Army, okay. Commander of Andalia. Okay, we will... Who have we got that's a decent commander? Stefan. Yes, Stefan Roseheart. Can we put him in charge of this army here? No, only Theon. Everyone's behind closed gates at the moment, which is quite annoying. So we've only got Theon to lead our armies at the minute. He's the only one who isn't behind closed doors at the moment, which is very annoying. Hopefully that epidemic doesn't stay around for... Oh god, it is. It's spreading pretty quickly. And a few city and castle holdings have been finished that we've been working on for a while, so we need to pass those out. One is a city on the Paps, so we will grant that city the city of Twostone to Lord Corbra, and we're one more over the Dement, so we'll grant one of our lords a castle, someone a little bit of lower birth maybe, or make a second Alphone's Woods. Who are you married to? Cynthia of Winterfell. Yeah, let's grant a castle to Alphone Woods, who was the and again he's not gonna. He's only got one daughter, and she's been married off to a Firehand. So let's find somebody else that we can give that land to instead. Who could we give that land to? We need to look at our own court. That's not our court. That was the Firehand court. We've got a few people that could probably get that. It's only a castle that we're giving away. What castles have we got? The Castle of Fever Reef, which is in the Father's Ford. We could give that to the... Right, Father's Ford. Your family, Wilbert. You've got a brother, Damon Richards. Can we grant... Yeah, let's grant Damon Richards the Castle of Fever Reef down in Father's Field. So we've got 2 House Richards over there. There we go. And we'll give out the other castles once we finish this war, and we're going to have a lot of stuff to hand out. At the age of 0, your subject, Tyrene Stark, died stillborn. That's not one of ours, is it? I don't think so. Some of your kin are unhappy that you granted the Castle of Fever Reef to Sir Damon Richards, as they were expecting to be granted the title themselves, Prince Owen of Andalia. Do you know what? Owen probably deserves a castle, doesn't he, to be honest? What castles have we got left? Castle of Bent Barrow is in Silver Spear. Castle of Eastmelt in the Lunar Woods. Castle of Effrington in Wolf's Watch. And Castle of Gancliffe in the Frosty Shore. You deserve something better than that, Owen. We'll give you something better. Okay, that siege is going pretty well. Is this army march onto Heart's Home still? Yes. Is the rest... We're just waiting for one little straggler of men from the Firehand lands in the Barrowlands, and then there we go. They've arrived at last. 4,500. Can you guys embark on the ship, and we'll sail you down into the Southern Fingers for now, and we'll drop you off into Heart's Home, and we'll march the other army round into Moon's Grey. Perfect, and that should be a pretty decent invasion plan. The Starks are obviously coming to aid us as well. How many men does the Bitch of the Vale have? Wow, she's possessed now, and she's celibate. Celibate, it's a bit late for that, isn't it? How many children you had, including several bastards. But she has just under 9,000 men. Raymond Sevenstar is lacking an education focus. Wow, intrigue and learning. Let's go for a learning education. Oh, we can't. So it's going to have to be intrigue then. Great, another intrigue focus. Let's get you a better guardian then. A Zion guardian. Someone with decent intrigue. Let's send you to Lord Firehand. Give him a decent ward. Right, how well defended is Heart's home? Only 1,000 defenders. That's not too bad, actually. So here come the rest of the fleets. Oh, got another child lacking an education focus. Ashara Sevenstar. Okay, she's pretty good all round. She's being warded by Lord Joa of the Warrior's Way. She could be a good bride then, maybe, for his son, if she's being warded there. She's Owen's daughter, isn't she? I don't think she... No, she's not betrothed to anyone. Got the quick trait. If she's being warded by him, let's go for the stewardship education then. And she would probably be a good bride for more... They're the same age as well. Oh, wow. Oh, no. He's a skilled fighter as well, Moribald Rat now. Owen's doing a good job on him. Still a squire. He should have a focus. Then again, he's probably about to pop up next. Let's go with a... Oh, he's very close in stewardship and martial, but skilled fighter. Let's go for the martial education. And let's arrange a betrothal between him and... Where... Is she not going to... Ashara. There she is. Same age. Send. And they've got the quick trait. They should have some interest in children. So there we go. Perfect. That's a very good match that we've just made there. Makes sense as well that they're both... But with her being warded at the Rat clans, hopefully it'll get him a little bit more on side as well, as we know he's not our biggest fan. Let's drop this army off in Heart's home, and then we'll march them around to Moon's Grey to get that under siege. Actually, no, let's instead, probably too late now, I'm going to say let's I have the ships, please. Stay on the ships, and then the ships to Snakewood instead. We can dock then, that would be easier. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. And these have nearly now taken the siege of Newkeep. We'll let them wear it down slowly. We've got 11 ships here. Let's bring them around to Snakewood as well, just to get all our fleet together. Where are the Stark men that are meant to be coming? Here they come, several thousand of them. Lord Adrian the Conqueror accepted King Donald the Usurper's peace offer. There we go, so they have now reclaimed all the north, apart from what we own. Be interesting to see if he does try and press any of that at some point. If he does, he'll regret it. We'll put one of our Stark bastard children on the throne of the North instead, if he does get such ideas. Where should we march? Let's just march you over to Strong Song. Oh, you're going to go that way. No, don't go that way. Let's march you over to Moon's Grey instead. Hopefully the supply line in Heart's Homes. Okay, 15,000, that's okay. So you're going to be able to march through there without suffering any casualties or such like that. So we'll just... No, I don't want to dismiss any men. Was merging. Betrothed can marry Mordain Firehand and Oliver Sevenstar of the Blue Branch. Squire, who's he, being trained by Prince Owen? Why have you not... Well, yes, we'll send that, but why have you not got an education focus? You should have. Okay, that's a good match though. Mordain Firehand and Oliver Sevenstar of the Blue Branch. Awesome. I think that was Sir Lister's son, isn't it, if I'm not mistaken? Donald Stark has transferred the vassalage of who? Contract of Adrian Starkspear to Harrion Flint. Perfect. Princess Udder of Laslamant accepted King Todrick of the Iron Isles peace offer. Okay, so it looks like the Ironborn are up to no good again. We'll attempt an assault on that. That's an easy victory. 151 one defender. There we go. That gets Newkeep completely under our control. Victory. We should now be able to march on to Strong Song as the other army is marching to Moon's Grey. Sarah Woods died under suspicious circumstances. Sir Walder Firehand's bride. He's not having the best of luck with brides. I'm sure that's the second bride that he's had. Poor Sir Walder. Well, at least he's got... Oh no, he's got a bastard. And then two... Oh no, two bastards. 3 bastards. Wow, he's a lustful chap. We should make friends with this guy. He'd get on pretty well with us. So Enger's brother is a bit of a bastard maker, just like us. He's obviously got no competition. We've got no competition there, though. I think we've got 3 times the amount of bastards. Soon to be more. Oh, and speaking of bastards, Sarah Snow, our lover, is also pregnant. And she's not married either, so she won't try and pass it off as someone else's. Maester Arlen has shared some of his latest ideas with me. I do not know much of medicine, but perhaps he is onto something. He has asked for some money to develop his theory further and write a book on it. Yeah, of course, if it's going to help out and further our knowledge on such things. Theon Bolton is called in a favourite on Baron Hoggart, whoever he is. There we go, you're marching on to Strongson, led by Theon, who leads this army here. We've still not got no other commanders. High King Todrick of the Iron Isles decided to exile Jorado, and a raven has arrived from the Citadel. We should prepare. Winter is coming. Can we open the gates yet? How's the epidemic looking? It's not touched Sevensport, thankfully. Maybe because we shut the gates nice and early. But we'll keep an eye on it. How's the Siege of Heartscombe going? Pretty well. Lord Cosgrove of Crossfort has formed an alliance with Lord Enger the Evil. Okay, interesting. Lord Joshua has a decent opinion of us though, so we should be okay. Crown Loyalists is still doing well. There's only the one Independence faction, but he is gaining a bit of power with that. Lord Reaver Crom the Cruel has declared the Seastone Isle war for Lordship of Pebbleton. Doesn't really concern us. Leave the Iron Islands to their own devices as long as they don't start raiding us again. Elita Snowfall has had Weirwood Bow added to their treasurer. Nice. Very nice. Still 2 daughters. Okay. Oh, wow. Strong Song is very well defended. How many defend? 3,000 defenders. Wow. Why don't you march on to Crown Crag instead, then we'll get that under siege. And we'll come down for Strong Song last. We'll leave the stronghold till last. And a daughter was born to High King Enger the Uncaring and Queen Sybil of Andalia, named Cimoril. Cimoril? Cimoril. I don't know if I like that. Let's name after mother. No, I don't like Sybil. Name after grandmother. Felina. Name after a random ancestor. Mordain, Ashara, Rosamund, Mordain. What name? I need a name that we've not had yet. Freya. We've had a Freya 7-star. Ashara. Janne. We've had Ashara. Roslyn. Have we had a Roslyn 7-star? I think we have. Valiant, Freya, Janne, Rosamund, Roslyn, Janne, Freya, Jack. Come on, give us something different. Let's look for just some randomised names then. Do you know what? Considering she's got a Stark mother, let's go for a Stark name in Lyanna. Lyanna 7-star. She's not been born with anything too interesting, but we'll keep an eye on her. That's our 13th child, but our second legitimate one, another daughter. That's going to leave things very open. If people start getting ideas they'd rather have a bastard son as king over a daughter. It seems my anomalous adventures have resulted... Oh, whoa, what's happening here? Well, 2 at the same time. A son was born to High King Enger the Uncaring and Danae Nemerion, named Hilario. Hilario Nemerion. Is he not being passed off as eyes? He's been born with the attractive trait. Okay, we will, of course, acknowledge him as mine. So he's a Snow. Hilario Snow. Interesting name. And now another bastard. Oh my god, I can't keep on top of these bastards. A daughter was born to High King Enger the Uncaring and Winfred Stark, named Felena. Felena Snow. And she's not been acknowledged as ours, so we'll make her important because obviously we want her to be acknowledged as ours, so we'll have to sort that out. Ambrose Snow, her brother, is being passed off as ours, right? So we do need to go into the files and edit that. It's annoying when it does that. Hilario 7-star, very interesting. Oh, and here we go. A son was born to High King Enger the Uncaring and Rosamund 7-star, named Damon. Damon 7-star. Do you know what? I might keep it as Damon, but should we put the E in? Because it looks better with the E, doesn't it, in my opinion? There we go. Damon 7-star. Damon Snow. Okay. He's not been born with any traits, but that takes us up to... How many? I've lost track. Ben Grand has had fire upon the grass added to their treasury. Okay. Doesn't really concern us, does it? How is the siege in Crown Crag? Okay, that's pretty well defended as well, actually. Your Master at Arms, Lord Colmore, has secluded himself in Oldcastle. Yep, you keep yourself safe, Colmore Bloom. We don't want to lose you. You're amazing. Right. Once Heartsholme falls, which it looks like it's going to very soon. Yes, Sir Stefan is now leading this army. Perfect. Sir Stefan Rosehart will march up to the area and smash that army in their capital. We're sieging stuff down pretty well. So how many bastards is that now? 1, 2, 3. So 14 children, 12 bastards, 2 legitimate. Wow, that's ridiculous. At the age of 0, your subject, Jan Shycross, was born stillborn. Oh, that's a shame. That's Vermifor's child with his wife. That is a shame. Come on, hurry up and take Heartsholme. It's so close to falling. So's Moon's Grey. That's going to give us some decent war score and we can march on to the Eyrie together. Perfect. Siege of Renwick, that has collapsed. Let's get Theon leading this army then. And we've got one child lacking an education focus. Adara Snow, that's our oldest bastard, isn't it? Learning and stewardship. You're old god, so do we really want to go with faith? Your parent is Sarah Stark. We'll go with... let's go with thrift. Or should we go for... Let's go for Juta. Why not? And right now that that's collapsed, let's... Oh no, we'll assault, because it's pretty easy to take that, actually. So we'll assault instead. Let's take that. It'll be an easy victory. Perfect. That's that now collapsed. So let's march on to the area. But they do get a massive bonus from doing that. Let's instead march on to Heartsholme, merge the armies together, and then we'll try and march up into the area, which is going to be a hard victory to try and gain. Siege of Heartsholme. Perfect. How well defended is the second one? Not that well defended. Once we get those armies together, they should easily be able to take it. There's a 15,000 supply limit there as well. We can also now dock the fleet into Heartsholme as well, which is perfect, giving us easier access to our fleet. We'll merge these two huge armies together so that we can try and take the area, then march down onto Strongsong afterwards, which is very well defended. Eleanor Salzar died of severe stress. That is Prince Owen's wife. Poor Owen, he's had it rough over the last few years. He's still infirm as well and badly wounded from the attack he suffered at the hands of the peasants of Sevensport. There we go, 8,000 men now in Heartsholme, so we should be able to siege this pretty quickly. But I'm not going to run in without thinking about it and just assault it. We'll grind it down. We're in no rush. After being skillfully treated by Maester Arlen, my lover Danaea is feeling much better. Perhaps he is deserving of some praise. I shall personally praise him to the court, which will improve a lot of people's opinion of him. Or yeah, we'll do that instead, improving people's opinions of him. It's a shame that we can't get any more of our commanders out here. Has the keep forgetting to check, but Donald of North Cracklaw, Peasant Revolt. Interesting. That could slow the Stormlands down a little bit. Not fine characters, sorry. Epidemics. No, still there. Bloody Flux is still spreading through our lands, so we can't open the gates to gain our commanders. Good job that the Vale has no armour. Alaric Sunderland has a regular flagship added to their treasury. Interesting. We rebuilt, obviously, the Enger Hotspur in the last episode. Jane Wainwood has had Wed to the Sea added to her treasury. Where's that Stark armour? 8,000 men. By the time they get here, we'll be flipping won the war. That's the only problem with the North and the Starks. It takes them so long to mobilise. Then again, it shouldn't... Oh, here's another 6,000 just coming into the Vale. I spoke too soon. And we've got a Liberate Captive of Clement of the Trident. Okay, kicking off in the Trident. The Trident will be our next victim, of course. A daughter was born to High King Enger the Uncaring and Sarah Snow, named Elise. Elise Woods. No, we will acknowledge her as ours. She's been born with the sickly trait. Oh, we're not going to suffer our first stillborn, are we? Well, first deaf child to die. Been born with the attractive trait. Again, we seem to be getting a lot born with the attractive trait. Perfect. Right, we've ground that down enough that we can now assault without losing too many men. Perfect. Maester Arlen is worried about my newborn daughter, Alyssa. He is, I don't know if I like that name. Alyssa Snow. Can we change her name? Yes, rename a character. Do it. Let's look for something about Yolanda, Hara, Lacey, Rayella, Eleanor, Tanessa, Tisane, Laurel, Alex. Alex Sevenstar. Yeah, I like that. Alex. I'm guessing that's how it's meant to be said, but yeah, I like that. Maester Arlen, you must attempt to save my daughter. Right, so there's one more thing left to assault at Heartsholme, I believe. There we go. Heartsholme has completely fallen to the 7-star host, so now we can march up into the Eyrie and crush what little there actually is of the Vale force. 3,000 men. What's the advantage they get? They get a huge advantage. We get a huge disadvantage, but we've got 3 times the amount of men. Hopefully we'll be okay. Got room for another commander. Let's have a look. Owen. Will Owen be able to... No, he won't. As Lord Stefan pulled himself out of the army then by the looks of it. He's locked himself away, hasn't he? Let's have a look. We'll leave Lord Lister. Let's have a look. Where was Owen? Replacing with... yeah, Stefan's locked himself. Bastard. Oh, well, we don't really need the commanders. Theon should be enough to take care of everything. And if he dies, it wouldn't be a shame. It would help us out massively, actually. And put a child in charge of the Dreadfort. Whatever Maester Arlen did, I cannot see any improvements in little Alex. My daughter still seems worryingly lethargic. Her subdued cry sends chills down my spine. Her subdued cry, sorry. Not good. Very sickly. Why am I even paying that quack? No, she'll be alright, hopefully. Let's make her important. Right, how are we going to get on in this battle? So, okay, we're absolutely steamrolling over them. Hopefully the area's not too well defended so that we can take it. Take the capital. That should about win us the war. The Stark army is marching up to us as well. And Robert Perrin was captured in battle and is now my prisoner. House Perrin. Where do you rule from, House Perrin? Perfect. Okay, where do you? Heir to the Sept of Hearts home. What? What? That's up north. House Perrin. So you're a lower born member of House Perrin by the looks of it. No, what does House Perrin rule then? Have we got other Perrins somewhere? No. I'm not sure who House Perrin even are, if I'm honest. And it doesn't look like there are any Perrins around. Maybe they got wiped out. So we've got the last remaining member of House Perrin. We could maybe employ him to get more Vale people on our side. Let's have a look. Where's he gone? Let's just put him in house arrest for now, and we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, we've still got Lord Flint, and he's finally willing to ransom himself 70 gold. He is the Lord of Breakstone Hall, so at least it was worth keeping hold of him. And Nettles, okay, you're not really worth anything, are you? Yeah, we'll ransom you 10 gold. We could do with a little bit of money, to be honest. And the area is very well defended, as expected, but we will leave these other 3,000 in Crown Crag and get that under siege. The Starks are coming to aid us as well, which is good news. Peace with you, I accepted paying your ransom for the safe return of Nettles. Perfect. And to the wretched High King Enger II, tales of your misdeeds are told from the Arbor to Ashai. I accept paying your ransom for the safe return of Lord Medgar. Okay, perfect. That gives us a lot of money, which we can invest some of into Baraton, if he's not building anything. Oh, he's currently building basic defences. Never mind. I was going to try and... We'll save the money for now, but yeah, I want to try and... Oh, God, now that they've come and attacked us here. Your Grace, for some time now I've been in the employ of Lord Erin, but now I seek a better station. Let's have a look at you. Sunny Belaris, you're a dragon rider. No, thank you. We do not want any dragons coming to Andalia. What's the supply line here? 12,000. Let's split this army in half then, and take 3,000 of them down to Crown's Crag. That's going to be too many men. Instead, march to Strong Song instead. Starks have decided to stupidly march up to the area with us, which has put us over the supply limit now. But we'll start getting that siege on Strong Song instead. Lord Reaver Crom the Cruel is forming an alliance with Lord Will of Saltcliffe. Doesn't really concern us. Ronald Florent is no longer a participant in the Ethan Silverized host invasion on Ocean Road. Okay. Your Grace, I am deeply hesitant to ask, but the coffers of your loyal subjects are running dry from the upkeep of the levies you have raised from our lands. Any recompense for the cost of my liege wars would be a great comfort. Give them... Wow, that's a lot of gold. But it will upset everyone if we say we'll give them gold for now. We have made a lot of gold from them ransoms, so we'll pay off the lords for now, try and keep them on side. But we do need to forward along and try and get these lands under siege. Septon Dermot, a Valeman. Okay, you're pretty good. Your Grace, sometime now I've been in the employ of Lord Wilbur, but now I seek a better station. I humbly request to join you in Sevensport. Septon Dermot joins High King Enger the Uncaring. He gains 50 gold. We lose 50. No, we'll leave it. We've got Septon Mark. We don't need another Septon at the moment. You need to hurry up. We've got 4,000 defenders in Strong Song. There's no point you even being there, really. So let's march you on to Crown Crag and try and take that a little bit quicker then. Hopefully we'll be able to take it with the joint forces. Let's forward things along until we can take that. Here comes the rest of the Stark force as well, slowly marching down into the Vale. Hopefully they can take Strong Song for us. Hopefully they're not stupid enough to park themselves at the area with us. If they are, we'll have to take our army away from the area. But I want the prisoners from the area. Stefan's back leading the army again now though, which is good. New Lord Commander on the wall. Lord Commander Leslin of the Night's Watch. So the Black Turtle must have died. He was getting on a bit though, wasn't he, old Estamont? Lord Clay of Smith's Forge has declared Lord Clay of Smith's Forge war for the Fingers on Lord Lister of the Fingers. Oh, well, that's a bold move to make. Got 1,000 men. The Corbries have got about them. Oh, interesting. Marshal Lord Colmer told me about his ideas. I couldn't really understand what he was talking about, but he was adamant in his belief. While I believe anything that Colmer Bloom says, if he thinks it's going to improve our military, I believe him. Maester Arlen has published his new theory and apparently it has become the laughingstock of the entire medical community. It is being read as an entertainment by scholars throughout the realm. The Craven Bookworm has brought me nothing but shame. And the Stark host is now marching away from us for whatever reason, so we'll take this 3,000 and march them back up into the Eyrie to aid us. Why stay with us until the end of the assault and then march yourselves off? I'm interested to see what's going to happen in this war for the Fingers. Let's have a look. So, Lord Lister's war against Andalia. Who is on... I'm trying to see who's on his side. What side of Sunrise Keep on? We could command him to end the war. I think I am going to try and do it. Your Grace, I will of course obey you and will end the war as commanded. Yeah, we don't really need civil wars going on at the minute. Lord Corbury is going to be moving from the Fingers at some point anyway, so we'll probably have a new High Lord of that area eventually at some point. And they're invading the Sisters, the Vale men. Poor Sisters, as if they've not been raped enough by the Vale over the years. Having many lovers is exciting and fulfilling. So much love, so much desire, but so little time. I feel like I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'll make this work, we gain stress, or we could break up with one of our lovers. I think we'll break up with Rosamund. She's gathers 4 bastards, hasn't she? And she's probably the most... I don't think we'd break up with Sarah, so that's our oldest lover. She's 32 now, though. She was our first lover, but 32. We'll break up with Sarah. She's probably not going to give us any more bastards anyway, and she is a lot older than us, so yeah, we'll break up with her to stop ourselves getting stressed. Don't want to break up with the younger ones who are still going to bear us more children, maybe. Let's continue to forward on. And a child lacking an education focus. Who is it? Jonquil Snow, our second bastard. Okay, so she's pretty good in stewardship, so let's go for thrift. Let's assign a guardian, someone who is good in stewardship. Let's go for Joa Rack, who hates us. Oh, this is interesting. Queen Rowena the Scarred has formed an alliance with King Clement of the Trident. Does that mean the Mudds are going to suddenly get involved in this war? It would be silly of them when they're at war with the Lannisters. But now we know what side the Mudds really do want to be on. That's fair enough. No one wants to be allies with the Sevenstars for some unknown reason. I really don't know why. But whatever. If that's how you want to be, then we'll leave you to it. Why not? King Lucan of the Rock accepted King Clement of the Trident peace offer. Okay, so they're probably going to get involved in this war now then. But we are 30% winning. A first man who claims to be a master bladesman approached me and offered his service in teaching my ward, Benfrey Snow. Away with you, first man. Gain 15 prestige, or I will pay you. I hope you're as good as you say. And that will train Benfrey Snow. Who are you? Sir Joshua Pertridge. Yeah, I'll pay you to train my son. And Benfrey seems to have no fears at all. He's gained the brave trait. Interesting. So he's got the quick trait, poor fighter, and also brave. Nice. He's going to turn out pretty good by the looks of things. And there we go. We've finally sieged Crown's Crag. So we just need to finish sieging that, siege the second area, and then we can march on to Strong Song and try and get that under control. If we've got enough men for that. We may not have enough men to even siege Strong Song, to be honest. But the Starks have joined us, so now, perfect. Everywhere in Strong Song is now under our control. That's great news. So let's march these 7,000 onto Strong Song, and that'll hopefully take that. We're losing a lot of men in the area, unfortunately, from the siege. It's very well defended, but we do need to take it. Why is this random Stark army just standing on this mountain? Well, I think they are sieging it, just very weirdly. Hopefully it won't take them much longer to siege. And High King Todrick of the Iron Islands has declared Ironborn invasion of Castamere. Interesting. Very interesting. The Ironborn are getting a bit of strength all of a sudden again. It doesn't look like we're going to get to end this war before the end of this episode, though, so we'll get done what we can get done. Betrothed can marry. Moribald Rak and Ashara Sevenstar. Yes. Send. Perfect. Will we be able to maybe get a non-aggression pact with you now? Will your opinion improve of us, Joe Rak? As you seem to very much dislike us, we could do with sending some men over to the sisters, actually, to lift that siege there. Who's this Mistlewood armor? Wow. Your friend Sir Rodwell Sevenstar has died. Oh no, our cousin's died from cancer. Yeah, he shall be honoured with a funeral. Just the Sevenstar family will be invited. That's Owen's son. So Owen's lost his wife, son and daughter all within a couple of years of each other, which isn't that nice, is it really? Things aren't going great for him, and we're really losing a lot of men in that siege for the area. It's so difficult to take the area, and we've literally not brought it down at all. Fort level 18, crazy. The invitations have been sent for the funeral of Rodwell. Let's carry on forwarding things along. We really do need to take the capital. The best part about preparing for a feast is deciding what foodstuff to serve. We'll just spend enough to satisfy hunger for now. We are at war. We can't afford to splash the cash too much. We're not Ambrose. We've got room for a commander. Let's have a look. Have we got any commanders who aren't locked up? Tristan, Sir of Greenstar. Perfect, yeah. Let's get the Green Stars involved. It's been a while since the Green Stars have done anything. Tristan leading that army, Theon leading that army. Perfect. We've actually got a Tristan Green Star worthy of wielding the Valyrian Steel Sword, the Stranger's Touch again by the looks of it. So Willis Joshua has used his attendance at the feast in Sevensort to present a petition for justice before the court. He claims that Lord Joe Rak had his kingsman, Lord Ronnie Joshua. Yeah, we went through this last time. Lord Melaine of Luna Woods has formed an alliance with Lord Harston of the Frosty Shore. That's interesting. Two of the people of the Grey Cliffs forming close bonds. How is the war going down south, actually? We've not seen much of that. Oh, and at the age of 66, your enemy, Queen Rowena of Mountain and Vale, died under suspicious circumstances. Who's topped her off? Someone's killed the Vale Queen before we even got to take it. So who owns the Eyrie now? King Cleos of Mountain and Vale of House Hunter. Interesting. He may be able to... Oh no, he's got even less men for the Vale. So that's very interesting. Does that mean that the Oh, he is the son of Queen Rowena. Does she have any other children? Does that mean there's no Arryns left? Oh no, we have got Septon Byron of Heartsholme, who is an Arryn, and he has a son, Prince Hubert of Mounting and Vale. So there is still one Arryn left, and we've got a dangerous faction, Independence, Theon, and it's backed by the sisters, and that is pretty dangerous, isn't it? Let's send our Master of Whisperers to the Dreadfort to scheme and try and stop that if we can. We don't really want that kicking off when we're so close to winning the war in the Vale. It's turning colder and colder. The people of Sevensport can no longer work the fields. We are going to have to end today's episode, though, I think, guys, here, and carry on our war for these Vale lands in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If so, please don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you all very soon for the next episode of the Knights of Andalia. It had just passed midday when his Uncle Owen came limping into his quarters bearing the news. The poor old man had recently been attacked by some small folk in the streets of Sevensport while attending to the king's business. The guilty scum had since been found, their heads now lined the walls of the castle. Enger had spent the morning visiting all of his children, as he did most mornings. There may have been bastards, which he knew many fathers would not give the time of day, yet he loved each and every one of them. He made sure each and every one was well cared for. They had Sevenstar blood running through their veins, and they would be treated like royalty no matter their birth. Enger would not abandon them to a life with no father. He had suffered that childhood himself, and always promised himself his own children would not be without his presence. His uncle stopped before his desk. "Your Grace?" He bowed and began to attempt to kneel. "Honestly, uncle, there is no need. Please take a seat. Sir Lister, can you ask my ward to fetch us some ale and food from the kitchen?" "At once, your Grace." Sir Lister Sevenstar of the Blue Branch hastily left the room, as obedient as always. "Now, uncle, for what do I owe this pleasure?" "I have news of the war, Enger. Heart's Home, Crown Crag and Newkeep have fallen to our forces. Strong Song is under siege. I expect it will fall before the moon's turn. Our main host, led by Lord Stefan, marches onto the Eyrie, bolstered by the Stark forces. All seems to be going according to plan, Enger replied, smiling. Yes, your grace, but there is more news. The Iron Queen is dead. No one is quite sure how, but there is talk. Some speak of an accident, others of murder and suicide. One thing is for certain, however, the woman is dead, his uncle said. Enger was suddenly filled with an immense feeling of joy and excitement. The bitch was finally dead. She who had scorned him and his family, dead, and soon her family name and kingdom would follow her into the dirt. His uncle didn't seem to share his joy. Uncle, what is it? We should celebrate, the war is all but won, Enger said, confused. The Muds have decided to aid the Vale, your grace. They are marching a huge force to the Bloody Gate as we speak. The Mud King's wife is an Arryn of the Vale, do not forget. We simply don't have the troops available to hold them off, and many lords seem hesitant to send any more to reinforce the army. Well, demand that they do send more men. Their king demands it, Enger stated furiously as he stood to his feet in anger. Enger, this whole business with the faith has turned many a pious lord to question your rule, for the High Septon himself to excommunicate you. Well, it has done much damage, Owen said wearily. I am the king. The faith, their septons and their seps are mine, to do with as I see fit, and these lords are mine to command. They swore me an oath of fealty. They will answer my calls to arm, or they will find themselves declared as traitors of the realm, with their heads upon spikes and their castles filled with loyal men who will do as their king commands. Enger, his uncle began to speak. I have heard enough, uncle. See that the maester writes to all my lords. They are to send more men for the war effort, or be declared guilty of treason. Yes, as you command, your grace. His uncle's tone was cold. He struggled to his feet and left the room.